Hi and welcome to our first virtual spiritual assembly. We'll begin in our usual way. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. We're going to skip the hymn because I wasn't sure you'd appreciate me singing you a solo, but we're going to have a Bible reading from the book of Hebrews. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and the sin that clings so closely, and let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us. Now, this assembly was actually written to be a couple of weeks before the end of term, and it was the week where we had St. Patrick's Day on the 17th, which I know some of you will have been aware of. But what you might not have been aware of is 2 days later, on the 19th of March, was St. Joseph's Day. And there are different days throughout the year that the Christian Church remembers saints, those who have gone before us. But who were they? Well, we heard in our reading just a description of the saints as a great cloud of witnesses, cheering us on as we continue our earthly journey. But another way that saints are remembered is often by their patronage. Saints are associated with a particular place or a particular thing. For example, St. Patrick is the patron saint of a specific country, as is St. Andrew and St. George. So I've got some random objects in here. Now, if we were in school, I would get students to help me pull these out, but I'm going to have to do it myself. So the first one we've got is a wooden spoon, because Saint Honoratus of Amiens is the patron saint of bakers. St. Catherine of Alexandria is the patron saint of, can you guess? Librarians. Now this is a good one. St. Drogo is the patron saint of coffee shops. St. Eligius. What do you think he might be the patron saint of? Electricians. A good one for me, St. Hubertus is the patron saint of, yes, you probably all guessed that one, the patron saint of maths. Now, some saints have got more than one patronage. So you may know that St. Christopher is the patron saint of travelling. He's associated with travel, but he's also the patron saint of many other things, including toothache. And finally, two more modern ones, St. Hyacinth, the patron saint of weightlifters, and one for all you lot, the patron saint of the internet is St. Isidore. If you've got any time over the next few weeks and you want to find a random saint, a patron saint, and Google it and send it to me, that would be great, and I could use that in a future assembly. Now, some saints were famous, some were not. But all of them were a person that lived on earth with their own story. They would have had ups and downs and led a life as we do on earth. Christians think about saints as heroes or champions of the faith, people who have inspired or had an impact on them and are remembered. But whether we have a faith or not, there will be people in all of our lives who have inspired us, our own heroes and champions. Some will be famous, but most of them won't be. Some of them will be living, some of them will have already died. Have a think of a moment for people in your life who have really inspired you. I'm going to share a couple of mine. One of them, who died sadly a few years ago, is my Auntie Angela. She was a massive part of my childhood and she really inspired me. She was a source of strength and stability and a real source of encouragement. And a lot of how I am, I credit to her and the influence she had on my life. Another person who's still alive is my favourite maths teacher. He taught me GCSE and maths and further maths A-level. Dr. Ryder, he was amazing and inspired me with his love of life, his love of maths and his love of teaching. And I'm pretty sure he was the reason I became a maths teacher. This does link to our theme of assemblies about valuing others and valuing ourselves. So let's take time today to give thanks and remember those that we value in our lives, those whose stories have inspired us, Perhaps those who've gone before us, but perhaps those who still live alongside us. And maybe if it's someone that you see regularly or can speak to, maybe say thank you to them for the way that they have inspired and impacted on your life. And also to think how our lives may inspire others, either now or in the future. So we'll end with a prayer. Dear God, thank you for all those people who've inspired us. Help us to value and remember the difference they've made to our lives, and help us also to live lives which inspire others through our words and actions. Amen. And so may God bless all of you. Bye-bye.